The idea of humans evolving to breathe underwater is a fascinating concept that has captured the imagination of scientists, writers, and dreamers for centuries. From science fiction novels to futuristic theories, the notion of humans adapting to an aquatic lifestyle raises intriguing questions about the limits of evolution, the adaptability of the human body, and the potential for genetic engineering to reshape our biology. However, the reality of such a transformation is far more complex than it might seem. To understand whether humans could ever evolve to breathe underwater, we must explore the biological, physiological, and evolutionary challenges that would need to be overcome, as well as the potential role of technology in making this dream a reality. Breathing underwater is a capability that is naturally found in many aquatic species, such as fish, amphibians, and marine mammals. These animals have evolved specialized organs, such as gills, that allow them to extract oxygen from water. Gills work by using a process called diffusion, where oxygen molecules dissolved in water pass through thin membranes and into the bloodstream. This is a highly efficient system for aquatic life, but it is fundamentally different from the way humans and other terrestrial animals breathe. Humans rely on lungs, which are designed to extract oxygen from air. Our lungs are not capable of processing water, and attempting to breathe underwater would lead to drowning, as water would fill the air sacs and prevent oxygen from reaching the bloodstream. For humans to evolve the ability to breathe underwater, several significant changes would need to occur in our anatomy and physiology. One of the most critical adaptations would be the development of gills or a similar organ capable of extracting oxygen from water. This would require a complete restructuring of our respiratory system, as well as changes to our circulatory system to support the new method of oxygen exchange. Additionally, our bodies would need to adapt to the physical and chemical properties of water, such as its density, pressure, and temperature. These changes would not happen overnight, they would require millions of years of evolutionary pressure and genetic mutations. The likelihood of humans naturally evolving to breathe underwater is extremely low, primarily because there is no evolutionary pressure driving such a change. Evolution is driven by the need to survive and reproduce in a given environment, and humans are not currently facing any significant threats that would make underwater living a necessity. Our species has thrived on land for millions of years, and our bodies are well adapted to terrestrial life. While some humans have developed the ability to hold their breath for extended periods, such as free divers, this is a far cry from being able to breathe underwater. Free divers rely on training and physiological adaptations, such as increased lung capacity and a slowed heart rate, but these are temporary changes that do not alter our fundamental biology. Another factor to consider is the role of genetics in shaping our physical traits. The genes that control the development of gills in fish and other aquatic animals are not present in humans, and there is no evidence to suggest that these genes could spontaneously appear in our DNA. Even if such genes were introduced through genetic engineering, integrating them into the human body in a functional way would be an enormous challenge. The human body is a highly complex system, and altering one aspect of it could have unintended consequences for other systems. For example, the development of gills might interfere with the function of the lungs or the circulatory system, leading to potentially fatal complications. Despite these challenges, the idea of humans breathing underwater is not entirely out of the realm of possibility, thanks to advances in science and technology. While natural evolution may not be a viable path, human ingenuity and genetic engineering could potentially bridge the gap. One approach that has been explored is the use of artificial gills, which are devices designed to extract oxygen from water and deliver it to the human body. These devices could be worn like a mask or integrated into a suit, allowing humans to breathe underwater without the need for scuba tanks or other bulky equipment. However, developing such a device is no small feat. Water contains far less oxygen than air, and extracting enough oxygen to sustain human life would require a highly efficient system. Additionally, the device would need to be compact, lightweight, and easy to use, making it practical for everyday activities. Another potential avenue is the use of genetic engineering to modify human DNA and introduce traits that would allow us to breathe underwater. This could involve editing the genes responsible for lung development to create a hybrid organ capable of processing both air and water. Alternatively, scientists could explore the possibility of growing gill-like structures in a lab and transplanting them into the human body. While these ideas may sound like science fiction, they are not entirely beyond the realm of possibility. Advances in CRISPR technology and other gene editing tools have made it possible to modify DNA with unprecedented precision, and researchers are already exploring ways to use these tools to treat genetic disorders and enhance human capabilities. However, the ethical implications of such modifications are significant, and there would need to be careful consideration of the risks and benefits before any such procedures could be attempted. In addition to the biological and technological challenges, there are also practical considerations to take into account. Even if humans were able to breathe underwater, living in an aquatic environment would require significant changes to our lifestyle and infrastructure. We would need to develop new ways of building homes, growing food, and generating energy underwater. The pressure and temperature of the ocean would pose additional challenges, as would the need to protect ourselves from predators and other environmental hazards. These factors make the idea of underwater living more of a long-term goal than a near-term possibility. It is also worth considering the psychological and social implications of such a transformation. Humans are inherently terrestrial beings, and our brains and bodies are wired for life on land. Adapting to an underwater environment would require not only physical changes but also mental and emotional adjustments. The isolation and confinement of living underwater could have significant effects on mental health, and the social dynamics of an underwater community would be vastly different from those of a terrestrial one. These factors highlight the complexity of the challenge and the need for a holistic approach that considers all aspects of human life. In conclusion, while the idea of humans evolving to breathe underwater is an intriguing one, it is not something that is likely to happen naturally. The biological and physiological challenges are immense, and there is no evolutionary pressure driving such a change. However, advances in science and technology could potentially make this dream a reality, through the development of artificial gills or genetic modifications. These approaches would require significant innovation and careful consideration of the ethical and practical implications, but they offer a glimpse into a future where humans could explore the oceans in ways that were once thought impossible. Whether or not we ever achieve this goal, the pursuit of such knowledge pushes the boundaries of what we understand about our bodies, our environment, and our potential as a species.